Wow. Hello and welcome to the Raptors Reaction Podcast on presented by Betway. For all your sports betting activities, hit the QR code that you see here on the screen or follow the link you see in the description of the podcast. Raptors with a generational, unethical. I saw someone say in the stream here it's an ethical. No, this was unethical, man. There was nothing ethical about what the Raptors did tonight. That was really, really tough. I was watching this game, making dinner, enjoying it, watching how the Raptors had control of this game, double-digit lead for a large portion of it. They clearly had a size advantage. Chicago certainly is a team that primarily shoots the three to get going, and they couldn't really get the three dropping for a lot of the game. And the Raptors, to their credit, were doing a great job going to the rim, finishing. They actually were hot from three to start the game too, so they had that portion rolling. Like everybody basically coming in the game playing well, and I'm like, all right, well, all right, it was chill. It was chill. Like we're just in this game. Heading into the fourth quarter, Raptors had the double-digit lead. They led by 9 heading into the fourth quarter. And more importantly, the Raptors led by 4 points with about 4 seconds left. And at that point, you're just saying, look, Chicago's going to get the ball. They're going to run a little play, whatever. But, you're just going to stay away from everybody. All right, play zero defense. Let them make this shot. And you know what? Even if they make it, you still have the chance to inbound, get fouled. You make both free throws. It's still a 3-point game. Whatever. Raptors, though, do the unthinkable, which is, number one, they let Coby White get open for three, which, Coby White was like 1 for 8 from three from that point. But still, he's clearly like the guy that they want to go to. He's as close to a go-to man as they have in this game. Not only do they let him get a wide open three, but to compound matters, IQ jumps over and gets himself into the play. Now, honestly, like, it was certainly a play where, there wasn't a lot of contact, but again, just completely unnecessary because the Raptors are up 4. Referee decides to call the foul. All credit to Coby White for knocking down the three and then knocking down the free throw. And at that point, it's like, well, we suddenly have a situation where the Raptors were in full control until down the stretch where they completely lost momentum. And then they still had a great chance to close it out because, again, they're up 4. They give up the foul. And at that point, it's a tie game at 110. And so the Raptors, though, they still have a chance, still have their last timeout, still have 4 seconds left on the clock. So they advance the ball, they run a play, and you're like, well, at least maybe we got to see a game winner. We haven't seen a game winner from the Raptors this season. What are they going to go to? Even that information is kind of interesting. Like, who are the Raptors actually going to go to? What kind of play do they want to run in a situation like this? And the situation was RJ Barrett was the inbounder. They ran some off-ball action to, between Grady and IQ, and it looked like maybe the play would go there. But instead, Scotty cut across the lane from the, weak side corner to the strong side corner, posted up. He had Lonzo Ball on him. RJ made the short bounce pass to Scotty. Scotty took, I think, 1, maybe 2 hard dribbles and then faded away from the baseline. Wasn't exactly Kawhi Leonard fading into the baseline, I got to say. The ball did bounce, but it bounced atop of the backboard after time had expired. So nowhere close to going in a heavily contested shot. And at that point, the Bulls fans, which were really quiet for most of the game, get really excited, get really hyped. The Bulls have been really struggling. And they go into overtime. And at that point, the Raptors, they just completely the wheels just fall off. IQ fouls out, after trying to take a charge on Josh Giddey, racing to the rim. Josh Giddey was just a menace all night in this game. IQ fouls out, so Jamal Shed has to come in. Raptors also played a whole ton of Jonathan Mobo down the stretch. I'm not going to lie to you. That might be the most obvious sign that they're tanking. This whole, Jakob Poeltl's on a minutes restriction. Please, come on, man. Let's be real here. Let's be real here. We have a guy with a hip pointer who has missed so much time that it dates back to before the All-Star break. Finally comes back in the All-Star after the game. He was able to play in, the one game that Scotty missed, right? Scotty goes out, so they're like, okay, fine, we'll finally play Jakob. Jakob comes in. He plays the Indiana game, has no issues whatsoever in the Indiana game, to the point where they're like, well, we'll even have him out there guarding guys on the perimeter. Then that game, by the way, which was a blowout, he plays 24 minutes. This game, sitting on 22 minutes, didn't even come in at all, I don't think. Basically, after like the first 2 minutes of the fourth quarter, you would think, look, maybe he plays a little bit to start the fourth, Raptors rolling, whatever. Clearly, size advantage, whatever. You could use Jakob very clearly in a game like this. At no point does he check back in, and then you kind of have like the Matt Devlin like sheepish, like, well, like minutes restriction. This came out of nowhere, but okay, I guess he's on a minutes restriction. He played 24 minutes against the Pacers. And that was a game when they got blown out by 20. So don't necessarily know why that in a game like this, he only plays 22, if not for outright tanking purposes, which clearly I think at this point we know that's a strong incentive in this case. I also know that it wasn't like Yak got banged up, because like this guy was multiple times he was diving on the floor for loose balls. So he was playing really hard and stuff like that. He never comes back in. So a lot of Jonathan Moba down the stretch. Moba did not do, all due respect to Moba, he's a rookie, but this was a rookie ass night, man. He didn't do anything tonight. He didn't do nothing tonight, man. So add him in. IQ fouls out in overtime. Eventually it's like he's doing so little that like we're going to have to put in Orlando Robinson. Orlando Robinson, who is the Raptors' third string center, who has been converted to a two-way contract, so that's good for him. PJ Tucker just got waived today, finally, so we have a resolution on Anthony Leon Tucker. So we'll see. Raptors have 2 open roster spots now. We'll see sort of like who they kind of cycle in and out. But there's a chance that Orlando gets the contract converted for the rest of the season or something like that. You never know. It could happen. But still, he's the third string center. He comes in overtime. To his credit, he made a 3, which is nice. Made no impact on the game, but still, hit the 3, which was nice. Then you had sequences where like Raptors get a rare stop, and both Grady and Scotty sky for the rebound. Like they're fighting each other for the rebound. Both guys ultimately jar the ball loose from one another. And the ball ricochets out to Lonzo Ball, who knocks down a 3. Another big momentum swing. On the other end, Raptors just couldn't get anything going. RJ just kept having one thought of going downhill to the basket. The Bulls eventually did a better job of sending help. And quite frankly, the refs weren't calling any of those drives. Like some of those drives, RJ was just like getting mauled at the basket, but nothing getting called. And then on the other hand, you also had Scotty trying to do the turnaround jumpers. That wasn't dropping. Not only on the game winner, but on plays in overtime as well. Trying to go to the basket. Raptors running sets to get him, specifically point blank looks at the rim. Obviously, there's contact because he's at the rim. You don't expect just wide open dunks, but like he's missing chances. And then of course the Raptors throwing the ball away. And the Bulls going on transition. It's unbelievable. It's actually kind of incredible that the Bulls, in the span of about basically 5.5 minutes, like less than 5.5, because the Raptors were, let me just check the play-by-play here. Hold on. Raptors in the fourth quarter, they were up 110-106 with 6 seconds left. Grady Dick had missed the first free throw and then made the second one. So at that point, the Raptors were up 110-106. The game ended 125-115, which means the Bulls managed to outscore the Raptors 19-5 in 5 minutes and 6 seconds to close the game. 19-5. Incredible stuff by the Raptors, who, look, we can all joke about it. Clearly, obviously, like I'm having a good time with it. It is what it is. But I think on a human level, like I'm sure the Raptors are devastated right now. Like I'm sure that there's a lot of frustration going on right now. You saw a lot of signs of that frustration down the stretch as the game was wrapping up there. You saw how upset RJ was with the officials for not calling plays, especially the one where Josh Giddey like sprinted across the court to like assault in midair, no call, whatever. You saw how frustrated Scotty was yelling at like Grady on the rebound where they both contested for it. And after the 3, kind of yelled at him again. You even saw Jamal Shed frustrated at times. on a human level, this got to be crazy frustrating. Like, as much as we can joke about, like, this is good for the tank, as much as we can even surmise that, the organization, at least from the management perspective, would like for the Raptors to lose down the stretch here and would almost invite these types of losses. However, the people that I do feel bad for are the players themselves. Although I will have to say, in this case, they got nobody but themselves to blame. Like, they actually played a great game. They played really well. What you wanted to see in a game like this, you saw. You had up until the last basically 5 minutes of the fourth quarter, you had RJ playing well, you had IQ playing well, you had Scotty playing well. Jakob was doing his thing. He's healthy again, although too unhealthy to play more than 22 minutes. After that point, he might just explode, so they didn't put him back in the game. Certainly not for tanking purposes. You saw some good stretches there from Grady Dick, who hit a 360 no-scope turnaround jumper late in the game to bail out a broken possession. That was, pretty cool to see from him. You saw, like, the Raptors playing good defense. Like, the intensity was there. They did a good job. They moved the ball well. Whenever the Bulls zoned them, the Raptors did a good job of swinging the ball around. Up until the end of the game, they were actually shooting the three pretty decently. They ended up shooting only 13 of 37, but they did throw up a whole bunch of bad threes towards the end there. And yet, and yet they still came away with the clutch tank win. And I just feel like I do feel bad. I actually do feel bad for the players. At the same time, I guess credit to the Bulls. They woke up at the very end and, they capitalized on the Raptors team that, look, if we want to put all the jokes aside, like, Raptors also did look terrible in crunch time, man. Like, it's not even a situation for me where it's like, we're just going to excuse everything for the tank. Because I actually find that to be quite weak. Yes, I do feel like having a guy like Brandon Ingram would really help, not only with his experience, but his skill set, his calm, his shot making, his playmaking, even the size. Let's say you play this game again and you have Brandon Ingram out there. Who's even guarding him on the Bulls? Those guys were all like 6'7" and below, basically, right? That, that sort of maturity, that sort of shot making, that's like exactly where he would be useful. Granted, you don't necessarily want to need somebody to help beat the 10th seeded Chicago Bulls. But still, like, that's certainly a game where you look in general crunch time, with all due respect to IQ and RJ and Scotty, I don't see those guys as true closers in a way that I see it from Brandon, where he can handle, he can create his own shot, he can certainly make the right pass, and he's got that sort of both shot making ability, but also the size and the physicality to be able to sort of play over that, right? So, like, clearly, in terms of bringing in a player like of his caliber, you can clearly see where their need is, because the Raptors do have this tendency of getting really frazzled like this. We've also seen that at the same time, these guys do make a lot of mistakes. I don't know what else you want me to say. This is not exclusive to any of the guys. I see a lot of people here. Ripping Scotty, and you know what, that happens. Like, when you go ahead and miss the game-winning shot, and it's not a particularly good one, people start turning on you. Trust me. Having gone through the Tampa season, the exact point where people started really turning on Pascal was, number one, the bubble. And number two, the start of that Tampa season, where you had those back-to-back plays where he tried to spin and go for the game winner against Golden State and against Portland. Both times he missed those. When you come up short in crunch time like this, like, people are going to be on you in a way that feels maybe a little disproportionate to perhaps the play that you had over the bulk of the game. I thought Scotty actually played a really good game outside of towards the end there. But, like, all those guys made mistakes down the stretch. IQ obviously made the biggest mistake of fouling White when you're up 4. Like, yeah, okay, that wasn't even his man. To be clear, that was Grady's man. But, like, whatever. The Bulls ran a good action. They got Kobe White open for 3. Fine. But you have to have the presence of mind. And especially for IQ, he's been in the league like 5 years now. 5-6 years. Like, you got to know. Like, you're not supposed to foul. You're not even supposed to contest in that situation. And so he commits the biggest mistake. He also made Uh, you know, he had a wide open three before that too. Because before, it went to all of that, there was a play where RJ broke down the whole defense, got into the lane, drew everybody into the paint, and then kicked it out to IQ. And IQ had so much time that he could even take an extra dribble to get rhythm and then to launch the wide open three from the wing, and he missed that. Now, luckily, Scotty was able to go in for the offensive rebound and come down with it and draw the foul. And that's what actually allowed the opportunity for Grady to get fouled coming back down and whatever. But still, wide open three for IQ, he could knock that down. So the missed shots down the stretch as well from IQ didn't necessarily seem all that poised to be able to sort of make those tough shots against increased ball pressure from the Bulls. And then, of course, fouling out in overtime. I mean, I'm not saying that I want him to just let Josh Giddey get a free lane to the basket, but also at the same time, you got to know you're playing with 5 fouls. You know what I mean? And it's not like, with all due respect to Jamal Shed, it's not like Jamal Shed's going to come in there and run the offense better than IQ would. You know what I mean? So fouling out, lots of mistakes from him, lots of mistakes from RJ, a couple turnovers down the stretch. The drives to the basket where, RJ's probably the least at fault. I'm not going to lie. RJ is definitely the least at fault out of the 3 there because of the fact that, he was taking us strong to the basket. At that point, if he's going to make it or miss it, that's one thing. But I think some of those, when you look back at them, there was a ton of contact, and the refs definitely did swallow the whistle a little bit. So I could definitely see his gripe on a number of those plays. But ultimately speaking, it felt like RJ kind of only had one move down the stretch, and they weren't necessarily getting very effective looks from RJ, even with the fact that there was some contact on some of those. He did also make a couple of drives, so I'm not trying to say that he was breaking everything. He wasn't. And then Scotty, who again played a great game up until the last bit of crunch time and overtime. But yeah, I mean, it's certainly a lot of moments of frustration. And honestly, the expectations are much higher for Scotty than they are for RJ or Quick, because as the leader of the team, as the main guy on the team, you expect him to come through for you. In those situations where it's just okay, everything's going against us, but don't worry, calm down. I'm going to make a big shot here. And I was actually really happy that the Raptors, when they had 4 seconds left and they had the chance to drop the final play, they went to go, they did choose to go to Scotty in that sort of situation. And he did go to the move that he's been working on all season, which is, a couple bumps and then turn over the shoulder for the fadeaway. He doesn't typically do it from the left block, I would say, but still it's a shot that he's been working on. But at the same time, you got to make it, right? You got that's where the expectations do come from, right? And he missed that opportunity. He missed a couple more opportunities in overtime, showed some frustration. I mean, he's human. He's also a pretty emotional guy, so it's not like I'm expecting him to just be oh yeah, me and Grady fought for the rebound and for no reason, and it squirts out and it goes to Lonzo Ball and he knocks it down for 3 in overtime after we just generationally threw the game. I'm not expecting him to have no reaction to that. But, there was certainly some frustration, and there was definitely not a sense of okay, we're going to have Scotty just calm down the situation and take over. And yeah, I mean, that's where, again, Raps do need more help. And of course, I think Jakob down the stretch could have really helped because he's been great in all situations. If they say that's a minutes restriction, then it's a minutes restriction, whatever. But again, he did play 24 in a blowout against Indiana. So I don't know why he was capped at 22 tonight. But there's that aspect. And then I think, again, this is where when I look forward to a guy like Ingram coming in, it's not necessarily just to beat the Bulls, right? Because I feel like that would be a reductive way to describe it. But I think in general, Raptors crunch time offense can really use some help, man. And I'm not trying to say that Brandon Ingram is going to make every shot, but the experience and the skill set and that level to be able to sort of make the plays down the stretch, I'm looking forward to a more experienced hand. I don't think that the Raptors have a great in-house option. I don't think that I mean, you can say that this is kind of the Raptors are in a tank season, and so this is actually good, blah, blah, blah. I think when the Raptors decide to win, some of these issues will crop up again. And that's where for them, they're going to need more help on that front. But again, this was also just a pretty hilarious pretty hilarious way to lose, man. I could see the frustration in people. I totally get it. But I mean, I don't know what to say. I think people definitely, um, yeah. Again, I feel like Raptors management did not mind this one, despite how much temporary pain that the players are feeling right now. Uh, you know, this is actually the right thing down the stretch. And honestly, the Raptors have a lot more of these type of games, right? Like they have a lot of games down the stretch against sub 500 teams. There's only have 3 more games down the stretch against teams that are above 500 right now. They have a game against Dallas, they have against Golden State, and they have a game against Detroit. That's it for the last month and a half of the season. So they're gonna have to find more ways to get creative and lose down the stretch, because this was this was a tough one. This was a nasty one, and I don't know. Maybe they could find more nasty ways than this, but it certainly does not seem like a lot of people can stomach this, because trust me, man, it's yeah, it's. Sorry, I'm just reading some of your comments right now. They're kind of killing me. Maybe we should get to the comments, because some of these are some of these are are very, very funny, and I could definitely see that yes, people understand it's a tank, but it's also there's people can see the frustration. So we are gonna turn it over now to your questions, and it is time now for the Tangerine fan inbox. And we'll let you know that Tangerine is the official bank of the Toronto Raptors, foundational partner of WNBA Canada and NBA Canada. And of course, they're not just fans of basketball, they're fans of basketball. They're fans of fans who have their own nickname for each guy in the starting 5, or fans who have stand 5 inches from the TV all game, or fans who are so upset after a tank loss in overtime. And honestly, all credit to you, because they lost in a very upsetting way. I'm not going to lie to you. If you're hearing this, there's no doubting your commitment. Fans like you are at the heart of what makes this game great. So this year, for the Raptors' 30th season, Tangerine is turning the spotlight from the court to the stands and celebrating the way Raptor fans support their team, because this is how we fan. To learn more, visit tangerine.ca/basketball. Okay, it's a good time here to get in your questions, because once again, I am flying solo. So if you want to leave some questions here, it's a good chance for me to collect some of these here. And yeah, we can just we can just get to some of the questions here. Wow, damn, man, people are really upset here. Okay, all right, hold on. Let me just collect a couple more. Oh man, this is tough, bro. Okay, let's just start here with the first one from Donkey. Did we just witness the greatest tanking performance of the decade? Yeah, I feel like that's a little aggressive. I've certainly seen worse than this. I think down the stretch you will see worse than this. I don't even think this is the worst one of the season. No, I mean, look, I think you can separate, like, there are certain things that were tanking related, like, for example, being so cautious with Jakob after he's already been back. That's one portion. I think the other thing is, like, these guys just made legitimate mistakes down the stretch, and I don't think that it's, like, entirely fair to the viewing experience to be like, well, it's just like, this is this is on purpose. Like, I think, honestly, the on purpose, whatever, they're doing this for the tank is a bit of cope. I've been saying that since the start of the season, right? When we were talking about, like, are you enjoying the Raptors having ethical losses, whatever? I was like, no, I think it's a bit of a cope, because, I can see when the team wins, no matter how much people say they love the tank, there's, like, a lot bigger audience. Like, it's just true. But also at the same time, like, yeah, like, some of these guys truly made mistakes. So I would say this was probably the biggest throw that they had all season, because, again, they did lead by double digits. They were against a Bulls team that, is not very impressive. They're missing players of their own. Like, the guy that's killed the Raptors the most this season has been Nikola Vucevic. He's been sort of that matchup nightmare for the Raps. He didn't even play in this one. So, yeah, Raps still found a way, though. Still found a way. And again, the part that to me, I'm like, okay, yeah, that, what, that's it. Yeah, I don't think this is the greatest tanking performance of the decade. I think you'll even see worse down the stretch here. Next one from Bazooka. Darko's angry face at the end had me crying. Was truly pissed off. Yeah, honestly, like this was this okay, sure, uh, Darko has incredible basketball faces. I'll just say that much. In terms of reactions between Dwayne Casey, which there is an infamous GIF out there of him. Okay, I don't even want. I can't even say it. It's like entirely swearing, basically. But he calls him a B ass mf'er. That's a great GIF by Dwayne Casey that was out there. There's also some great Dwayne Casey reaction GIFs of just him like being upset. Nick Nurse was generational with the reactions from the sideline. Obviously, the shocked Nick Nurse face, the fact that he like loves to campaign to officials. Like there's certainly a lot of good Nick Nurse reaction memes. Um, probably my favorite is the one where he's yelling at Tony Brothers, and Tony Brothers is just like, "Nah, man, I'm not trying to hear this. Tech, you're out of here." That one kills me because I feel like that really does sum up the officials' approach towards Nick. And then Darko has his own. He has his own version. I think it's because he has this like deeply reserved intensity about him that we've only ever seen, pop out occasionally. He's like a volcano, right? Mostly dormant, but once in a while you'll see him just explode, like that Memphis game. He exploded in that one. Like the game last season against the Lakers when he went off against the referees and he said Scotty Barnes going to be the face of this league. We don't get no respect, blah, blah, blah. Like, should we just quit or whatever? Like, you know what I mean? Like, we've seen it twice, the explosion. But I feel like he's almost always holding back in a way because he's so nice in general. He's so genuine. And I understand, like, who you are between the lines is not going to be who you are 99% of the time in real life. So, like, I understand that there's a huge emotional element to this, but I always get the sense with Darko that he's just like, there's just so much like that he's holding back there. And, and again, when you lose in this fashion, like it's hard to hold that back. So, yeah, shouts to Darko, man. He's had to endure quite a bit. There's certainly no doubt. This one from Jimmy is a great call here. Jazz calling timeout when Colin Sexton scored the 3. Got to be up in contention. Yeah, I believe that was earlier this year. There was a situation where, yeah, like you mentioned, like the Jazz had called timeout, but it was right as Colin Sexton was pulling up and knocked down a 3 to force a tie. And on the ensuing play, they did not get a 3, and I think they went on to lose that game. I mean, look, this is what the Raptors got to compete with, man. This is what the Raptors got to compete with. Like the Utah Jazz exist. I saw the Utah Jazz post something on social. And it got like 50 likes, man. Like on 50 likes. Like it's like people are checked out of the Utah Jazz, but they're willing to do it because of sort of what's happening in the draft this year. This is what happens when you have these kind of generational players in the draft. Like people start, making these decisions. And you could always say like, oh, Will Hardy was just trying to make a situation to try to compete. Like you can always say there's certain aspects of like competing. Like it's unless you're like outright cheating the game, like it's hard to sort of pinpoint your exact intentions. But yeah, this is the kind of competition that the Raps are in. So yeah, this was tough. Yeah, this one from Pretty Barb. That locker room after was silent AF. I'm sure it was, man. Honestly, I'm really sure it was because that it has to feel terrible. Like the one guy I do feel like the guys that do feel terrible are the players. Like, like they're the ones who have to sort of sit on this thing. I to an extent I feel bad for Darko as well, but I also think that like, one of the reasons why that, we went from Nick to Darko, not only because Nick towards the end was just sort of like, checked out of the job, or not even checked out of the job, but I mean, he said what he said in Philly, which I'll never forgive him for. That's unbelievable. But I feel like the front office could not make Nick tank the way that they could make Darko tank. You know what I mean? So that's why I don't feel entirely bad for Darko in this situation. But they certainly have served them like 2 bad hands in a row. And hopefully next year they're going to try to flip it around and stuff like that. The Ingram trade, I think, is a pretty clear indication of that. But then again, you never know, man. This front office will be willing to flip to a tank at any moment. But yeah, I do feel bad for the guys in the locker room for sure. What else, man? What else is in here? I don't know, man. Okay, so Brad says Scotty can't be the option in the tank. It's giving Pascal missing 20 straight game winners. Okay, Pascal did not miss 20 straight game winners. Okay, and also, as I said, for in Pascal's defense, even back then when I guess that was like when I was at Yahoo. But like, you know, Pascal can miss some game winners. They'll hurt in the moment, but Pascal also, like, with the Raptors up one coming out of a timeout, the Raptors ran the play where it was Kyle Lowry getting a screen from Pascal. Pascal slips the screen. Kyle Lowry throws the bounce pass. Pascal catches it on the roll. Euro step. Draymond reaches. He evades him. Goes up for the floater and knocks it in. Makes it a 3-point game. That is the final basket ever scored in the 2019 run. That is the finals basket ever scored in Oracle Arena until they went back there for All-Star practice, which I did ask Pascal about that exact play. And that clinched the championship for the Raptors in the clutchest moment possible, basically outside of like Kawhi's shot. And so like I don't care if Pascal actually missed 20 straight game winners for the Raps. I feel like he made the biggest one that needed to count. I don't think it's entirely fair to Scotty. Look, I don't think Scotty necessarily has the exact skill set where it's like clear out, end of the game, you give him the ball. Like, it's just not the typical guy you would, in terms of like, that's the skill set you would go to. I feel like, the type of players that, you would ideally go to in that scenario are like the players with a stronger handle, players with a better ability to improvise and make shots. And of course, like somebody with ideally a better jump shot. Now, of course, in this situation, he gets it in the post in a situation where, he's been working on that shot all season. I'm sure, again, the Raps won't post the post-game press conference because they only do it after wins, which is hilarious on its own right, but whatever, fine. But like, I'm sure you can actually go still find the video of this. And if he was asked about the last play, and right now, very few reporters go on the road, by the way, so he may not have been asked about the last play. But if he was asked about the last play, and if we can find this video, my presumed assumption of what Darko would say would be something like, this is for development, and in the long run, like, we feel confident in this guy to be able to make that shot, but he's got to first get reps to do it. And in that sense, I do understand. But, like, yeah, like, there's got to be a sense of, like, being able to improvise, being a little bit more creative. And I think even experience in this situation does work out. I mean, he had 4 seconds when he caught it on the baseline there. He pretty much had his mind made up as to sort of what shot he wanted to take. I do feel like, especially against a smaller defender, Scotty loves to play like that shot that he goes to with the turnaround jumper. He likes to go with the back to the basket first and then turn around for the shot. But I do think at some points it's just like you catch it, maybe you face up, and then you give yourself an option. I mean, when you're sort of backing down, you basically only have one option, which is the turnaround jumper. I feel like if you're like, you catch the ball in the post, and then you face up, and then you see the defense ahead of you, and then you at least have the potential chance of like driving baseline, maybe driving it towards the middle, and you could still hit the jumper over the top if you want. But it was kind of pretty clearly that he wanted to sort of like take 2 dribbles, I guess, shield away from like any chance of like, I don't know, I guess Lonzo poking it away. There's obviously more of a chance of you getting stripped when you're facing up versus backing down. And then, he went to the turnaround jumper. He missed it. It is what it is. Again, like, he wouldn't necessarily be like my number one option in a situation like that. I think Scotty does have pretty good crunch time stats in previous season. And I do feel like some of that can be a little misleading, only in the sense that like it doesn't feel like it's like a clear out game tied situation. Like, you give him the ball, you know what I mean? Like, it's not that for me. It feels like a lot of those are like tip ins, or he's not necessarily the main option on the play, but the Raptors run something good, and he ultimately gets to finish off the play. Like, so my point is, like, initiating from a standstill position with the whole defense loaded up against you, like, that's where I feel like a guy like Ingram, who has a better handle and has a better jumper, probably has more of an ability to sort of deliver for you in those moments. And even still, there's no guarantee that he doesn't miss a jumper. Ultimately, the game shouldn't have even gotten that position in the first place. But yeah, I do see a lot of people getting upset here. Some people are even upset at me, man. Damn, bro, this is tough. Seen this one from Jay. Will Lou leading the toxic bandwagon. He talks ball like someone who's never played ball on any level, not even pickup. I mean, why am I catching strays in this, man? Okay, yeah, obviously I don't play ball, at a high level, man. I don't think I don't think that's very that's very hard to see, but ultimately, I do play pickup. Okay, I play pickup quite often. Can I at least get the pickup playing? Damn, bro. Can I please get the pickup? That's not fair, man. But seriously, why am I catching strays in this, man? This is so funny. Let's get to another question here. This one from Godfrey. Why is Robinson playing more than Boucher? Robinson is only good for the G League. I feel like the Raptors clearly don't see Boucher as a center. Maybe certain matchups they play him as a center. Like for example, the Phoenix game he's playing as center. But like, yeah, I mean, in a situation like this, Raptors need a big body. Jakob evidently hit his minutes cap, and so it was either Mobo or it was Robinson. I didn't think Robinson played that bad, honestly. Like I feel like he's better than the most of the G League guys that you fish out and just randomly throw on your team. Like if you compare him to like Bruno Fernando at the start of the season when the Raptors opened with their third string center, like I'd probably take Orlando. I mean, not only is he younger, but yeah, I just feel like he has a little bit more size. He was, I mean, what more do you want? 12 points, 8 rebounds, got on the glass, 3 assists, knocked down a 3, which was kind of clutch. Clutch, but I mean, still, it was a shot. It was a shot that he made in crunch time, and not a lot of guys were making shots in crunch time. So, that's why are people don't believe that I play pickup, man? What's going on? This one from Kaylin. I've only heard audio of Will playing. Sounds fake. No video to be found. Just like Will's crazy game. Okay, hold on. Where's this clip? Let's
quick buckets. We're down 2.
Let's run the play again. All right. Yeah, you hear that? Josh Lewinberg saying we're down 2, right? We're playing 2s and 1s here. Oh, Sampson with the drive. Bang! Come on, man. People say I don't even play pickup is crazy. Like, again, clearly, as you can see from that video, I'm not a hooper. But, like, I don't even play pickup, man. Come on. I can't even get pickup player. That's tough, man. For a guy that spends a shocking amount of my free time playing pickup, man, can't even get pickup. People are mad, man. You lose one game in a tank off season, people are mad. I respect it, though. I respect it. Like, I actually respect his energy a lot from the team. You know what? At this point, why don't I just show you guys some more highlights of me playing basketball? I feel like we just got to lighten the mood a little bit, man. Just let's get a little silly, you know what I mean? Let's get a little silly. Let's watch a couple of clips here. Just give me like 10 seconds to load them in, because somehow... why can I download this? Why can't I download this? I don't understand. Okay, hold on. I know this is bad podcasting, but I feel like we got to change the mood a little bit, man. Like, there is no need for us to be as upset as we are at the moment. I just don't understand why we're upset right now. I mean, I guess the Raptors did lose, but that's what they're supposed to do. Okay, let's see one more clip. I can't add the other clip, unfortunately, but just for you guys, see one more clip of me playing basketball. This is tough, man. Yeah, guys, let's just strap in, okay? We have a long season ahead of us, and we're gonna have a lot more of these losses. I feel like that clip's too short. We got to see it again. Oh man, wide open layup against media members. Is that enough? Is that enough? Why can't I find this other clip that I had? I swear I made one more bucket in this game. Go to the message. Why can't I download this though? This is killing me, man. I want to show you guys one more shot that I made, but it's not happening. That's unbelievable. What if I just... Hold on. Reply privately. No, I just can't. Wow, why can't I download this? Unbelievable. I wish you guys could see this other bucket I made. Well, anyway, we're gonna take some more questions because this is clearly going nowhere. But seriously, people, like, let's just we gotta live with the season. This is how the season's gonna be. This is really gonna be how the season's gonna be. What else is here? Okay, this one from Matt. What do you think Mobo's potential is? I'm not convinced that he can be better than Precious. I don't think it's a guarantee that he's better than Precious. I feel like Precious has been a decent NBA player. I think maybe at one point we sort of considered him to have more potential than what he has turned out to sort of provide. But also at the same time, like, he's in a rotation for a playoff team. Like, I don't feel like that should be discounted. So I don't think automatically that like he's for sure better than Precious. I would say that him and Precious are actually pretty different players for me. Never with Precious that I really think that like he wasn't gonna play to his full potential in terms of the physicality and aggression. I feel like with Mobo sometimes I'm left almost a little bit wanting. Like I kind of wish that you had more of these situations from him where he was able to be like completely aggressive and I don't know, like just used, I guess, the extent of his physicality and his physical gifts to go hard to the basket. For me, he's almost more shy down there, and I feel like that's one of the things that they're trying to get him to be better with in that sort of situation. Precious also is pretty willing to take threes, despite never being a great three-point shooter, especially with the Raps. Mobo has kind of had to be more coaxed into it. But I do think that like the differences are that like Mobo, I think just generally speaking, certainly has better sense of how to read the game than Precious. I feel like if you put either guy in a 4-on-3 situation, like let's say two people double the ball and they throw the pass over the top to the roller and it's Precious in the short roll versus Mobo in the short roll, I feel like Mobo makes the right pass and more accurately and the right reads more often. So it's like a different skill set. Defensively, I would say that Precious has a little bit more strength, so he can play a little bit more backup five, but also at the same time, they're both pretty similar in sort of their switchability and ability to sort of slide their feet with either defender. Wow, people are so mad in this chat, man. Damn. But yeah, like I don't think it's a guarantee. At the same time, though, I do think that Mobo is a rookie, and so it's hard to completely judge what he is just based on right now. Last game, I thought he did a decent job. He had 16 points. This game, he comes in, he really struggles. Yeah, I think my number one thing for him though is just to play with more physicality, whether that's rebounding or going strong to the basket. Like even if he misses, I wouldn't mind. I just feel like he has the size and the ability to impact the game and throw his weight around a little bit more than he currently does right now. So. And yeah, the referees don't get Mobo a break. I mean, yeah, it's a rookie, man. Were you guys around for when Jakob was a rookie? That Jakob whistle was generational, man. That was really, really, really tough back in the day. What else do we have here? Goodness, man. Who is the most clutch player on the Raptors? I mean, look, fully healthy, I think it's Ingram. I don't know that, we haven't necessarily seen him on the team, but I just feel like, for me, I'd be most comfortable giving him the ball in a clear-out situation like that. He has I think for me, it's just like, do you have the handle? Do you have a jumper? Do you have the ability to improvise? And because I feel like crunch time, like people throw random doubles at you, people throw their hardest defenders at you. There's a lot of switching, there's physicality. Referees often swallow the whistle. So like, yeah, in that kind of scenario, like who can actually get to their shot? And also when you get to your shot, like how hard is it to contest that shot? I feel like Ingram actually has the best combination of those skills. I don't even mind Scotty being involved in crunch time. I mean, I feel like he's going to be a huge part of the piece of the team, so he's going to need to be involved in crunch time. Like, let's be real. This is just a random loss to the Bulls in the tank season. But if the Raptors want to get to where they want to get to, which is back in playoff contention and then even in a playoff series, these guys are going to have to learn how to execute in those situations, and it'll be way harder against way harder opponents than Chicago Bulls. Let's be real. So, yeah, I feel like it's Ingram. Yeah. RJ has got a couple chances to close this year. He's, I mean, this is all old stuff now, but a lot of this happened in like October and November, but he missed a lot of those chances as well. And then IQ's actually had some pretty explosive fourth quarters, like that Phoenix game. He knocked down those 2 threes. Then he set up the 3 threes from RJ. So he was actually the leading catalyst in that fourth quarter. He did a great job running the offense. When he first came back, that game against the Nets, that was probably his best game of the season. He was also really great running the offense down the stretch in that one as well. So like IQ maybe can do it because I feel like, again, he's got a bit of those sort of in between combinations, but it does feel like for me, like IQ is not necessarily a great player one-on-one. So yeah, I know we haven't seen Ingram yet, but it's probably going to be Ingram. Ah, man. What are people saying, man? More Scotty slander. What is this, man? BI is going to walk in and be our best player on the spot. Scotty and them have been out of the discussion. I don't think... Maybe, again, in a crunch type scenario, like, he probably would be the best option for this. But also at the same time, like, when you're considering all ends of the floor, like, this is why it's a little petty, because it's like, dude, like, he played a really good game up until the last moment. And, like, if Darko doesn't call Scotty's number, Darko calls IQ for a pick and roll instead on the last play, and Scotty doesn't have the chance to sort of miss the shot there, I don't feel like Scotty would be getting the slander. Scotty played by far the best game of the Raptors tonight, and he plays a really good two-way per game. He certainly wants to play defense, and he has played defense at a pretty disruptive level. He's trying to lead the team. Tonight he actually got his offense in a pretty good rhythm, knocked down 2 threes, knocked down some mid-range, got to the basket. I liked the sort of the aggression he went to the basket with. Clearly there was a size mismatch. I don't think it's like automatically that Ingram's gonna be better than him. Ingram's a very good player, so I don't think it's an insult to Scotty to say that, Ingram might be better. But like, I just don't think that it's like automatically he's gonna walk in and these guys have squandered their chance. Like, I that feels to me like a little bit too presumptive. It could very well happen, but I just don't think that that's exactly what's gonna happen here. Okay, all right, man. Well, what's going on, man? People, yeah. This gotta be the craziest hello and welcome post-game chat. I know. I feel like our chat is usually very good. Like, our chat is usually a pretty positive place, or we're just trying to have fun. Maybe this is what happens when Alex isn't here, is because like, maybe it's because certainly he would bring the vibes in a situation where I just can't do it in this situation. But damn, our chat is usually a lot more fun than this, I promise. This one from Jimmy: wish Ochai gets well soon. Yeah, me too as well. Lost in all this is Ochai left the game early in the first half because he sprained his ankle. Unfortunate. He had just hit a 3 on one end. Then he came down. He got a stop against Josh Giddey, stood him up at the basket, forced him into a sort of fadeaway runner, missed that runner. And then as he was coming down on the contest, he rolled his left ankle on Orlando Robinson's foot. Darko did call timeout. They were able to get him out the game. Unfortunately, he was ruled out for the rest of the game. So we'll see sort of how long it'll take for him to get back in the lineup. Again, with all people with the Raptors right now, I would just advise him to take as long as he can. There's certainly no need to rush. Ochai only played 1 minute. Wow, that's so unfortunate, man. So he got injured within a minute. That's unbelievable. Wow. So it didn't look too bad. Like, not to say that like I'm gonna judge how sort of he felt pain in that moment, but it didn't look like one of those like, huge injuries. So I think he should be okay maybe in the future, but like, I feel bad for Ochai, and I certainly wish him well. He's had a good season. He's one of the Raptors' few two-way players, and in the meantime, though, I think that does open up more opportunities for other guys. Jacoby Walter has been playing a lot of minutes. He's going to continue to do so. Grady Dick played 35 minutes. That's got to be the most minutes Grady has played in a while. I know they went to overtime as well, but Grady's minutes have come down of late, partially because he just hasn't played well, but also that he's had more competition at that position. So his minutes have dropped here. Yeah, there we go. This is where the chat is coming back in here. That's right, baby. Mo Salah. Yeah, no Liverpool game, honestly, this weekend, which is going to be, I guess, like, I guess they throw away their chance by losing against that Division 2 team or whatever, or champions. What's that? What's the second division in England called? Why am I blanking on this? The championship team. But yeah, they're out of the FA Cup, so I guess I'll watch the other FA Cup performances. But Liverpool is playing great. I am using my VPN to go watch the Amazon doc on Jurgen Klopp's last season, from doubters to believers. That's been really fun, just to revisit those old memories. What a fun time, man. Sometimes you really don't. I mean, honestly, like I've been so blessed watching the Raps and watching Liverpool for the last decade here. Certainly two tortured franchises. But in the last decade or so have enjoyed such great times. And whether it's like open gym docs with the retrospectives on the Raptors of late, or, just, I mean, one of the best things about being a Liverpool fan is just how much good content comes out about the team. But yeah, it's been great to visit old times. At the same time, though, Liverpool is also keeping me very sane in this Raptor season, because I don't have to crash out over Raptors losing to the Bulls, because my other team is 13 points clear at the top right now. And, I don't want to roll anything. I don't want to tempt fate on a night where IQ fouled Kobe White for 3 for no reason to force the overtime. But, yeah, it is what it is. I think we're going to do okay this year. Next one from Kalen. You'll never pot alone. Yeah. I will never pot alone. Thanks to all of you guys here. Hold on one sec. What else is here, man? Any plans to fast this Ramadan, Will? If you need help getting started, ask Liban. Yo, I just want to say Ramadan Mubarak to all my Muslim listeners here on the podcast. Lots of friends celebrating, and yeah, just wish you guys a really good time, man. All love and respect to all of you. And I honestly I saw someone post that the Raptors should post a little message. I agree. Actually, I do think the Raptors should post a message. I think you should be aware of the fact that you're in the Toronto fan base, man. Like you're in one of the most diverse places in the entire world, and that's sort of the fan base that you're drawing on. I think the Raptors will certainly tweet out a Merry Christmas. So in this case, I would love for them to recognize another substantial part of their fan base. But yeah, Ramadan Mubarak to everybody celebrating, and yeah, we'll see. Wow, what's going on here in the chat, man? Damn. Okay, yeah, you know what? We're gonna ban this guy from the chat. I've just, this probably, yeah. Let's ban the user for a while, man. Yeah, there we go. Done. Yeah, we're done. We're done. Sometimes, I appreciate you for coming through, but damn, that might be a little too much. Next one from Devin. Grady was crashing the glass like crazy tonight. You know what? I have been appreciating that aspect from Grady. I guess I didn't get around to mentioning it just yet, but Grady has been hitting the glass a lot harder of late. I feel like last game he also had like 8 or 9 rebounds. Tonight he had 9. Last game he had 5. He had 5, 5, 2, and 10 in their last 4 games here. He's had what tonight? Yeah, 9 rebounds. That actually leads the Raptors. Wow, okay. And I feel like one of the things with Grady is that, with more guys back in the lineup, he's not going to have so many plays run for him. And so he's not going to be as occupied. A lot of the possessions will just be him waiting on the 3-point line, maybe getting open, maybe not getting open. Maybe he'll sort of, get a little, pin screen or whatever and get him to get open or whatever. But sometimes he won't, you know what I mean? And so I think one of the ways for him to get, open or get himself more involved is just to crash the glass from the weak side. And I feel like with Grady, he's got the athleticism for it. I think he certainly catches guys by surprise. There's one big rebound that he got in the second quarter where he, I think he beat 4 Bulls to it, got the rebound, kicked it out. Raptors probably scored on the ensuing possession. So, yeah, just, more ways for Grady to be involved. I feel like, I think someone asked me the other day, what Grady can do to turn a season around or get himself going again. I think it's just it can't just be the 3-point shot. It really would be a situation where it's hard to, it's hard to only rely on the 3-point shot, and that's that's one way to do it. So good for Grady. What else here, man? Let's go. Someone said it $2. Shouts to Resident One. W Tank game. Let's sag for flag. I feel like we need an official. We need an official. Like, I guess sag for flag. You know what I mean? Like the Riggin for Wiggins situation. Capture the flag. There's just so many good ones involving flag. So I feel like we should as a community here come up with one that's pretty good here. So I'll give you guys some chances. What's the official slogan to get Cooper flag down the stretch here? Someone else asked, get Raptors moments on the pod. Honestly, I love Raptors moments. I love Mr. Moments. I've actually gone on Mr. Moments' podcast, which was actually quite fun. So shouts with Mr. Moments. He will sometimes make videos that don't necessarily put me or my other media members in a great spotlight, but I mean, in general, I actually do find his stuff very, very funny. And I'm actually, I saw him say the other day that like he was considering maybe changing his content to something else because Raptors content just isn't hitting as much when the Raptors are struggling like this. I would say that, I mean, if he is listening, Mr. Moments, like you're too big of a part of the Raptors community, man. We kind of need someone like you in the community. So please don't just like pivot to making other content. I'm sure if you made like LeBron and Luka content, it will hit like crazy. But just stick it out, man. Maybe next year we're gonna be good. You know what I mean? So that's that's it. All right. It looks like the number one nickname for the Cooper flag sweepstakes is some version of poop for Coop or pooper for Cooper in the pooper for Cooper. Yeah, this seems like the one. So I feel like that's probably got to be the one that we're gonna go with here. So I think we're probably gonna have to stick with just that as well. But yeah, I mean, lots of love for Raptors moments, man. Tom Duke says we need Raptors moments, so unique and talented. I agree. So just love for Raptors moments. Yep, there you go. And this last one, let him come on and do the Michael Granger voice the whole time. I gotta say, the last video that he did, which was on Brandon Ingram, obviously it's all edits, you know what I mean? So it's all for fun. Don't take any of it seriously, please. He wouldn't want you to. But the last one where he does the Michael Granger impersonation was cracking me up, man. All love to Grange. I miss you, Grange. I wish we can get you back on the pod. Obviously, for reasons we can't do it, but we miss Grange. We're big fans of Grange. Always showing us a ton of love. And honestly, you guys got to ease up on Grange. I saw Grange catching strays, Josh Lumberg catching strays. Like, what are we doing in this chat here tonight, man? Like, seriously, these are just people who are regular people trying to do their jobs of covering the team and bring you some stories around the basketball team. It really does not I don't really see a need for them to catch so much heat every single time. But I have to say, Grange does have a pretty unique voice. And we in the media room sometimes will do Grange impersonations as well. But the Mr. Moments Kermit Frog Grange voice was well done. So I'll have to say, yeah. So focus on the real enemy of the pod, Pat Delaney. Man, Pat Delaney really has been. It's been quiet for Pat Delaney for a while. So I'm happy for Pat in that sense, where he doesn't necessarily have to catch heat as much as he's had to of late. Defensively, the Raptors actually have done a lot better. But I haven't seen any praise given to him. So, it is what it is. When I get a chance to sort of, catch up with him, I'll let him know that, Hello and Welcome is the number one podcast for Pat Delaney stands. And hopefully he'll appreciate that or understand it. I do feel like he's a man with a family, so I definitely don't think he cares particularly that there is this whole online contingent. But hey, listen, it could be kind of fun regardless. I've been trying to show you this other clip of me making a three for the longest time, and I just cannot, for some reason, download the video on WhatsApp, and it's killing me. I've even asked Jerome, who's busy right now, to send me that video again, and he's done that, and yet I still have not been able to show you. It's a 3 on Jerome too. My goodness, man. How do I not have the ability to download this? I'm not washed. I know how to use technology. Hold on. You just gotta bear with me. For the podcast listener, I apologize. I know this is poor podcasting. All right, but sometimes things are pretty important, and you need to see the footage. Okay, maybe I'll send this back to him, and then I can download my own video. Why can't I download a video? Oh no, I can. Okay, I got it now. Okay, hold on. This is for all the people that says I don't play pickup basketball. Hold on. Yes, I have not played high level sports at any level. Trust me, I'm never gonna brag about that in the slightest. But to say I don't play pickup basketball is crazy. That's all I try to do with my free time is play pickup basketball and soccer, man. And here's another clip that I'm about to show you from the media game. So I will have to let you guys know that my team has now won 2 out of 2 media games that I've been involved in here. So I am a back-to-back champion. I would like to be acknowledged as such. And yes, I was the Pat McCaw for both championships, but it's okay. Like, I don't know if Pat McCaw was making threes like this. Bang! Bang! Yo, come on, man. Come on. That's not a good shot. Let's see it. Hey, great screen. Hey. That's right. That's Raptors assistant coach James Wade. Yelling cash out. Okay? That's right. Don't go under. Oh, we want to see it one more time? Let's see it one more time. Okay. Great screen there by Jay Rosales. Okay. Great screen by Jay of Raptors HQ. Okay. He actually set 2 screens for me to knock down my 2 threes of that run. Yes, the NBA 3 is really far. Like, really, really far. Like, typically I play on a high school level court, so it's much smaller. It's really easy to actually knock down a 3 without sort of like having to stretch for it. NBA 3, it's really far. And as you can see, those were the little corner 3s. Okay, the little corner 3 that's a little closer or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, that's a real above the break 3. Okay, and as you can see, a great screen by Jay. And yeah, Jerome with no effort at all to fight through this screen. Look at that. Boom. One dribble. Bang. Come on, man. Bang. Yo, this is killing me, man. Oh, look at that defense too. That's I guess you can't see it, but that's me on defense. Oh, great steal by Sampson. Let's go. It's that clear path is crazy. Oh my God. I'm happy you guys. I'm happy you guys were able to be with me on this, man. Yeah, that arm needed a full extension. Yeah, honestly, you need a full extension to make an NBA 3. I promise, man. That thing is hard as hell. And yeah, we just had a great time with that. Lack of respect by Jerome. I agree. This one from Channel needs to work on the celebration. So if you have seen it, I am wearing Trae Young's old Adidas shoes, the Trae Young 3 by Adidas. He is no longer with Adidas. He's been with Jordan for the last couple of years. So those shoes I got on heavy discount from SVP as I, get all my sporting gear basically. If it's not free, basically, influencer shit, I do get just like, SVP gear. And I got those Trae Youngs. They're quite comfortable, I have to say. Unfortunate, I guess, that those are dead stock now. But after hitting that 3, I did hit the Trae Young, the little too cold, that cold Palma celebration. So, yeah. So what's that? Samson looking like Caruso? This is what Samson gets for turning down the chance to come on the Rap Pod tonight, man. This is what he gets, okay? Samson looking like Caruso. Samson, honestly, Samson is Samson was our second best player. There's no doubt. Our best player. The reason my team has won the media game 2 years in a row. It's because we've had the MVP 2 years in a row on my side. Gavin Barry, who is a producer for TSN, he is really good. And especially for relative to the level that we were playing at, he's quite good. Okay, he's basically like if you rolled KD and Giannis into one. So we're obviously rolling off of his back most of the, but we still need a point guard. And Sampson is a pretty good point guard, lefty, can get all the way to the cup. Certainly in shape. He also plays basketball quite regularly as well. And he made some pretty big baskets for us down the stretch. And I guess both times I hit the threes, I think both times were assisted by him. Am I going to see the threes again?
Quick buckets, we're down 2. Down 2, 1 minute.
Who's the point guard? That's Sampson right there. There you go. Look at that. Pick and roll. Look at that. Oh, Jay again with the 3. Bang! This is so shameless, man. Why are we all here past midnight on a Friday watching 2 threes? This is nasty as hell, man. This is nasty as hell. Yeah. Getting sick of hearing Lewinsburg's voice. Guys, stop hating on my friends, man. This is tough. Can we acknowledge the no look? Yeah, actually a really good dime by Sampson, man. It really is a good dime by Sampson. Someone said Sampson needs to bring the beanie on the court. Yo, allow him, man. Allow him. That's not, was it a no look? Yeah. Honestly, so his head is shining. That was the one shining moment. No, I mean, I feel like multiple players. I mean, we actually had Alex Wong try to wear a beanie in the game. Like, Alex decided to ditch the PSA hat for the sake of the media game, and he put on a beanie. And as soon as he got onto the court, he got a stop. The beanie popped off. So at the break and play, he went over to scoop up the beanie. And we actually had real referees, like professional referees for this one. And the referees were like, what are you doing, man? Take that beanie off and throw it off to the sideline. What are you doing? So no beanie allowed in that game. But I appreciate all of you for sticking through and watching my 3 buckets. These are, the chat did cool off. I feel like the initial was like, we're so mad at all this kind of stuff, but the chat got back to where it typically is, which is a good time. You know what I mean? So yeah, Raptors lose, but we could still have a good time with it. So that's it. We're going to head to the 3 stars because, we can't watch it one more time, guys. We can't watch it one more time. It's really not that big of a shot here. So thanks to all of you for your questions. Your 3 stars from tonight's performance. Goodness. Forgot about tonight's performance for a second. First star is going to go to Scotty. He actually had played a really good game. 24 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, a steal, a block. There's going to be times to criticize Scotty. He missed a shot in crunch time or the chance to sort of, win it in regulation. But he played a really good game before that. So I guess it doesn't matter because you lose, but he did play a really good game. I promise you he did. So he's going to get your first star. Your second star, I'll give it a quick 23 points, 6 of 16 from the field, 4 of 11 from 3, 7 of 8 from the foul line. I just like the way he operated for most of the game. And then he committed the biggest mistake of the night. It's unfortunate, man. Life can be cruel like that, but he played a good game. And then your third star, I'll give it to RJ. He had a minus 24, but they were putting him out there with some pretty bad lineups. Like, in the start, so the Raptors were rolling to start the fourth quarter. They had a pretty commanding lead, and then Darko was like, "We're gonna take Scotty and Jakob out the game. We're gonna take IQ out the game. We're gonna play Shed, Walter, Mobo, Robinson, and RJ." And it's like, I mean, if that's not an intentional tanking move, then that's just bad coaching because that's a really bad lineup to put out there in a fourth quarter setting. So I don't think it's completely fair for RJ to have a minus 24 in a situation like this. Not to say he played a perfect game or anything, but he still had 18 points, 7 rebounds, 8 assists. I thought he threw out a couple of really nice passes, which was great. So, yeah. I mean, if it wasn't him, it was going to be Jakob. Jakob played a pretty good game. He missed his first 2 chippies, but then was pretty much perfect from that point onward. He looked pretty healthy to me. He was diving for the loose balls and stuff, but, he'd hit his minutes cap, and the Raptors were able to hit the loss column once again. You're a Gerald Henderson Award winner. I mean, it can't be anybody other than Colby White, really. I mean, Colby knocked down that 4-point play was absolutely vital. He was struggling. The Raptors did a pretty good job guarding against him. So good job for IQ and Jamal Shed for their work against him for most of the game. But unfortunately, the biggest play of the game, he knocked it down. So yeah, that's it for the pod. Thanks everyone for listening, man. I appreciate it for all of you for coming in. I know that the Raptors caught the loss, but they'll catch plenty more losses, and now they'll be going to Orlando for 2 games in Orlando. Orlando has certainly been struggling of late, but they actually did play pretty well against the Warriors before they threw one more time. And yeah, you know what? One more time. Let's see it one more time. Let's run it back one more time. This is what happens when those guys aren't here. I got to watch my own highlights over and over again. Come on, man. Cash out. Exactly. Yeah, there you go. Thanks all for listening. I appreciate all of you for being here. That 3 was for all of you. And I don't know what we'll talk about next post game. I don't know what we'll talk about, but at least I have my boys back. And hopefully the Raptors don't have a generational throw, so we have something else to discuss that isn't just pure anger. But, it happens sometimes. I understand. I've been there before with you guys. So thanks all for listening. This has been the Home Welcome Podcast presented by Betway, and we'll catch you Sunday.